There's a lot of misconception about drones and how they're used, and I wanted to clear some of that up. And some of it's a communication problem. First, there are 3 classes of pilots in Canada, which is where I am, but these can be used interchangeably. The rules are generally the same wherever you are, although you should check your own locality. Sub 250 gram drones, famously, are very small and affordable, and they don't need to be registered with the government of your location, which is great. It means that anybody can go to the local electronics store and buy one, and they can stand it up and start buzzing around the neighbourhood. Wonderful. Then, here in Canada, we have 2 other licensing certificates, although there are variations within each. Basic pilot certificate, you study the Transport Canada official aviation pilot handbook. It's the same handbook used by actual pilots. You need to know the rules. You are then tested on those rules, and that covers everything from meteorology to thermodynamics to aeronautics. I mean aerodynamics. Okay. And you can be tested on any of those, and that's fine, and you get your certificate, and away you go. Then there's the advanced certificate, which is held by around 20,000 people across Canada. I'm one of them. And that's a little more advanced, and it gives you certain extra privileges that you don't get otherwise. For example, I don't know, let's not get ahead of ourselves. An advanced certificate makes you study the handbook, and it makes you take a test on it, but then you are additionally given what equates to a driving test. You will go and meet with a flight reviewer who, just like a driving test, will assess your capabilities. You will send up a drone, perform prescribed maneuvers, and you will do this within a controlled environment and a certain time limit while answering questions about aviation. You will be assessed on your safety evaluation, your procedures, your flight plan, and all that kind of good stuff. If you're deemed successful, you pass, you'll join the ranks of the advanced, which gives you extra privileges. And this is where it gets interesting, and this is where the confusion comes from, so I wanted to talk about that. By law, here in Canada, drones cannot fly within 30 meters or about 100 feet of a building, a structure like a bridge, or a vehicle, or or personnel, people not involved in drone operations. In other words, if I'm filming you at the beach, I can't fly other people to do it. Now, here's the thing. I know this because I studied the rules and did the licensing. The other people that studied their licenses also know the rules because they studied their licensing. The guys that had a couple of beers and then went to the local electronics store and bought a drone and sent it up, they never read the rules. They don't know the rules. But they're still bound by them, whether they know them or not. Think of it this way. A guy I know owns a Harley Davidson. He was tested on that. He had a theory test and then a practical driving test. He knows how to drive. Excellent. I also know another guy who owns a bicycle. He's never taken a test on that. having seen the cyclists around where I live, or as I like to call them, roadkill, they haven't read the rules either. You're not supposed to cycle on sidewalk. You're not supposed to run a stop sign. You can't drive through a red light. But if you don't know that, you might just do it anyway, with all the fun that can entail from that. So these people that are flying the sub 250s, they might be safe, logical, wonderful people, but they're breaking the rules and they just don't know it. Now that's on them. They are in charge of a piece of equipment, they should know how to use it, and they should know what they're allowed to do. If they're not, well, that's it. Holders of advanced certificates, by the way, are allowed to fly within 5 meters or around about 15 feet of said aforementioned things, which is really useful for my line of work, particularly if you're doing real estate shots. Excuse me. On that note, public perception. Unless it's louder than a lawnmower or looking into your bathroom windows, it's perfectly legal for a drone to fly across your property. The same rules apply as they would for an aircraft. They don't take a detour because they don't want to fly over your house. No, they fly across it and there you go. Okay, they're at many thousands of feet, but the same law applies. So, interesting. It's a federal offence to interfere with drone operations, just as it would be if you tried to hijack a plane. And that's not exaggeration, that's the law. You are not allowed to interfere with drone operations at all, and that includes arguing with the drone operator, trying to wrestle control of them, insisting they take it out of the air. While they're doing that, they're not paying full attention to the drone. If anything happens, it's on you. And it's a federal offence, not municipal, not provincial, it's federal. You can go to jail. If that drone drops out of the sky and causes pain or damage to anybody or thing, or flies through a window, or gets caught in a threshing machine, it causes $1 million of damage to farm equipment, anything, it's on you. And you can go to jail, and you can be subject to fines. Anyway, that's an interesting thing. Oh, and another thing, on that same note, I often get people saying, oh, if you flew over my land, I'd shoot it out of the sky. Wonderful, do that. I'll see you in court. It's the same thing as taking a gun aboard an aircraft. And I'm not kidding. You shoot a drone out of the sky, you are causing potential harm to other people. That thing is going to land somewhere. It might crash through a car windscreen, or a bus shelter, or hit a kid on the head. Those things are high-speed, dangerous lawnmowers. You do not want them coming down on your head. Shooting them out of the sky, or in any other way interfering with them, is illegal. Again, it's a federal offence. If you get caught, you're in trouble. One last thing. I think I mentioned the guys that occasionally will have a couple of beers and then go to their local store and buy a drone and send it up. They haven't done their license, so they don't know this. It's an important thing. You want to know this if you are actually flying a drone under those conditions. It is a federal offence for the operator of a drone to have any alcohol at all in their system. 0 is the allowable amount. You can't have a beer and send up a drone. Not legally. If anything happens, or somebody gets upset about you flying around them and calls the cops, if the cop smells beer on your breath, you are in a world of hurt. They take that stuff very seriously. But this is something that our weekend warriors don't know, because they didn't read the rules. The rules are freely available on the Transport Canada website. I do recommend reading at least the basics, if nothing else, to protect yourself, and then to protect others, and then to know what you should and shouldn't be doing. It's real simple. The only other time you might be tempted to interfere with drone operations is if you see something in your backyard. And you're quite right to be concerned about that. He could be scoping out your place to steal something. He could be looking in your bathroom windows. He could be doing whatever. He could also have a malfunctioning drone. A motor might have died. The battery might be dead. He might be looking for somewhere to emergency land. Better your yard than a highway. So, always allow for that possibility. It's just a nice thing to think about, because if it's coming down for a mechanical reason, you don't want to be anywhere near it. If you walk towards it with a baseball bat and that thing is faulty, it could just as easily fly right into your face. Don't do it. Legalities aside, it's a safety issue. All of these rules are safety issues. Responsible pilots follow the rules. We don't like them any more than you do, but we know them, and we know that they're there for a reason, because drones do sometimes go out of control, and when they do, you don't want them within 100 feet of people or cars or vehicles or infrastructure, because anything can happen. Anyway, that's enough. I've bored you long enough. If you're still with me by the end of the video, I'll just tell you that tomorrow, because I have an advanced certificate, I can legally file flight plans with the aviation authority, and if they accept them, which they will do after they've reviewed what I want to do and what my precautions are and my plans and, you know, emergency procedures, I'm allowed to fly Class F airspace, which is, I can fly, well, you can't fly within 3 nautical miles, I don't know why it's nautical, but you can't fly within 3 nautical miles of an airport. Unless you've got an advanced, then you're allowed to fly within 1 nautical mile of an airport, which is a real helpful thing with, like, real estate. A lot of people live near airports. You're also allowed to file a flight plan, and with the flight plan, once accepted, you lock in a time and a place and the parameters, exactly what you're going to do. And then I can legally fly the drone down the runway at an airport. Not kidding. And the only people that can actually legally challenge me on that are the aviation minister or representative and a peace officer, not a police officer, a peace officer. Because just like I can walk up to you and demand to see your driving license, you don't have to show it to me. I can demand it. You're not going to get it. And I'm not going to show you my license certificate. It's got my personal information on, my name, my date of birth, my home address. I'm not going to give you that. Why the hell would I give you that? If you have a problem with me or any other drone operator, call the police. Keep it amicable. If in doubt, get the cops out. It's that simple. Don't take it into your own hands. It will end badly for you, not them. Anyway, again, that's enough. I'm out of here. Bye for now. Stop recording.